Hey guys, Spike here. Today I'm gonna continue recapping you the anime about a cautious hero. As you remember in the previous episode, Seiya and the team came back from the dragon world and met soldiers. It turns out that they are soldiers of the nearby kingdom, which is suffering from the attack of the demon. They come to the dragon's cave to ask for the hero's help. Ristarte and Seiya immediately rush over with their companions. When they reach the scene, many huge flies are grabbing the soldiers and throwing them from high to their death. The fly's leader is a humanoid demon in the form of a fly with super high speed. For the moment, Seiya doesn't have a strategy, so he meets with the leader of the knights, Rosalie, first. They intend to have a meeting in the nearby fortress, and Seiya gets to know about Wolks of the world, who is the most powerful human with his strength equivalent to the hero, but he can't leave the kingdom. Therefore, the demon intends to draw out the hero to eliminate him first. At the meeting, Seiya points out the flaws of their strategy and warns them not to act rashly before they come up with a flawless plan, or there is a high chance that they will lose. Seiya has carefully observed the monsters and learns that he must acquire a skill to restrain their speed, so he decides to go back to Divine Realm to learn the skill from God. According to the ratio of time, there will only be 1 hour passing here if he's in Divine Realm for 3 days. However, Rosalie doesn't want to wait even 1 second. She thought the hero should have been leading the soldiers to fight against the demon, so she angrily calls Seiya a coward. Seiya, however, states that the soldiers were not killed by the demon, but by Rosalie's incompetence and rashness. Her false strategy causes heavy casualties. Rosalie gets furious, intending to attack Seiya, but soon gets a fight back. As Rosalie's face is beaten and swollen, Ristarte quickly opens the door and sends Seiya back to Divine Realm. Ristarte asks Seiya to find the goddess of archery, whose archery skills are unmatched. She can send out up to 7 arrows in a row within an instant, and nobody can dodge her fast attacks. Thus, Seiya stays to acquire the skills from the goddess. As for Mash and Alulu, they are under goddess Ariadoa's instruction. Ariadoa unseals Mash and teaches him new skills of the dragon, while Alulu also acquires the skills of acceleration and deceleration. Seeing this, Ristarte aside can't help claiming that they are able to go back to the S-class world, after Seiya acquires the skill from the goddess of archery, which frightens Ariadoa. Turns out that as a novice goddess, Ristarte doesn't know the goddess of archery once broke the laws of Divine Realm and was punished to stay in the forest. She likes to kidnap the heroes and force them to sleep with her. While the heroes are not allowed to have body relations with the goddess in Divine Realm, when Ristarte rushes to the forest with Mash and Alulu, the goddess of archery is hanging herself in the air naked, trying to seduce Seiya. But Seiya gives no reaction to it but hits the goddess's head with an arrow. The goddess finds herself no match for Seiya, starting to set her eyes on the young boy Mash. At the critical moment, Seiya sends out 5 arrows in a row to keep the goddess pinned on the tree. As the goddess of archery is still saying flirting words with blushed face, Ristarte hurriedly takes her companions to leave for the other world. However, when they arrive, Rosalie has already led her soldiers to the demon's den, so Seiya and his companions can only rush to save them. Just when Seiya is about to kill the fly monster with the skill acquired from the goddess of archery in the darkness, Rosalie shows up out of nowhere, declaring war with the demon but getting captured as a hostage. Luckily, Seiya has thought of all kinds of problems he may encounter. He asks Ristarte to help stall the demon while he blocks its sight, and then he shoots an arrow that hurts the demon's arm. Thus, Ristarte seizes the opportunity to catch Rosalie falling off. The fly demon predicted that Seiya would hide in the clouds to shoot him, and as expected, Seiya shoots 7 arrows in a row that is comparable to the goddess, and no human can ever make it. To everyone's surprise, the demon dodges it. Demons in the S-class world are also much superior to common demons. As the demon is exultant, he finds a big hole in his body. It turns out that Seiya doesn't believe that nobody can dodge the 7 arrows, so he has changed his arrows into flaming ones that can track the enemy. Thus, the fly demon is totally slayed. After the battle, although Rosalie shows no gratitude to Seiya, she shares information that there is the strongest defensive armor in the nearby village, which is essential equipment to defeat the Demon Lord because it can resist all of the attacks of the Demon Lord. However, when they arrive at the village, it has been ruined by the Demon Killcapel. One of the 4 heavenly kings of Demon Lord has been waiting for the hero here. He claims that the armor has been torn into pieces by the powerful monster he summoned. Killcapel is so ruthless that he sacrifices the lives of all the villagers as he knows he is no match for Seiya, and then he kills himself. In the magic array he sets up, summoning the god of death from the other world, which is immune to all attacks, and all of Seiya's skills are ineffective against him. So they flee to the Divine Realm to take refuge, but what they did not expect is that the god of death can through the boundary and follows them to the Divine Realm. since the god of death is immune to all attacks, even the gods are unable to destroy him. Seiya then thinks of the goddess of destruction, the strongest in the divine realm. He deliberately leads the god of death to the goddess of destruction, who gets bothered by the attacks. As the common attacks put no threats to the god of death, the goddess explodes all her power in a fit of rage, casting the most powerful sealing skills and devouring the god of death in an instant. The next moment, blood erupts from the goddess's body. It turns out that the skill takes the caster's life as a medium. If she is not a goddess, she'll surely be dead, but Seiya doesn't care. All he wants now is to acquire this skill from the goddess of destruction. At the same time, Ristarte is summoned by the great goddess, who tells Ristarte that the S-class world's demon lord has sent the strongest army to the human kingdom, and if they don't take action, the other world will soon be destroyed, so they must hurry to defeat the demon lord. So Ristarte rushes to the residence of the goddess of destruction, but happens to find the goddess riding on Seiya naked. Ristarte is envious and accuses them of breaking the rule that heroes and goddesses can't have intimate affairs. The goddess of destruction, however, says Ristarte's thought is nasty. They are just practicing the sealing skill. Ristarte doesn't believe in it and almost cries out. She plucks thousands of hair from her body to help Seiya make his doll, but Seiya turns out to be taken by the goddess of destruction. Receiving the doll, Seiya firmly states that there's no affair between him and the goddess. When they get ready to head to the battlefield, the army of the demon lord has reached the gate. The demon lord sends the last of his 4 heavenly kings, but before Seiya can launch an attack, Wolks has taken the lead and eliminates the leader of demons in one move, as well as the strong army of the demon lord. Just as everyone is shocked by such strong power, Wolks turns into a baby the next second. Seiya finally understands why Wolks can't leave the kingdom. Wolks' daughter Rosalie shows up and holds Wolks away. Since Wolks can't talk now, Rosalie receives Seiya and his teammates. She reveals that Wolks is 80 years old and has been fighting for the kingdom for decades, and it's unclear what he encountered the last time he fought with the demon lord that turned him into a baby. Though Rosalie hates Seiya, she hopes he doesn't take her father to the battlefield again. That's why she tells him everything. Seiya soon states that he won't take a useless old man to the battlefield. At this moment, it is reported that the army of the demon lord comes to attack again. Seiya leaves everyone behind to meet the enemies at once. Wolks stayed behind, then takes Ristarte to the temple he worked hard to build. He built it in the fantasy of welcoming the god when he becomes the hero, which never comes true after so many years. Wolks asks Ristarte why the gods have unlimited life. Before Ristarte answers it, Wolks reveals the fact himself. It's because the gods set their souls along with the heroes in the Temple of Time, where time is stopped. Their bodies in the world are more like their doppelgangers. Wolks also reveals that there is a magic chain that connects the doppelgangers and the souls of gods, and by destroying the doppelganger, the god will be completely eliminated. The weapon that can kill the god is named God-Slayer's Sword, created by the Demon Lord, which is now in Wolks' hand. It turns out that Wolks has already defected to the Demon Lord the last time he fought against him because he worshipped the Demon Lord's power just like a baby obeying its parents. He turned into a baby form. Wolks intends to kill Ristarte now. At the critical moment, Seiya comes back. He saves her and kicks her to a safe place. It turns out that Seiya has already made countless speculations, including Wolks may defect to the Demon Lord. Knowing himself no match for Seiya, Wolks doesn't panic, because the demon has given him a magic pill that helps him improve combat power just in case. The moment he takes it, Wolks becomes decades younger, restoring his peak of strength. Unexpectedly, Seiya has been wearing a bracelet that increased his own gravity, so after removing it, his speed is further increased. However, Wolks is so powerful that for the first time Seiya gets injured and has one of his arms cut off. But Seiya has a strong will except for his cautiousness. Though suffering the pain of losing an arm, Seiya cuts off Wolks' arm, which holds the God-Slayer's sword. Without the sword, Wolks eventually gets pierced through his body by Seiya, turning into an old man again. Ristarte hurriedly casts healing magic to put Seiya's arm back. Rosalie also grows up a lot during this incident. She is no longer reckless. Instead, she becomes much more mature after inheriting the throne from her father. The battle leaves Seiya recuperating for several days, and Ristarte thought Seiya would be regretting and step up his training. However, Seiya says he should rest and entertain himself before training. It is not easy to have a break, so Ristarte takes Mash and Alulu to the street to have fun. But when they go back, they find Seiya disappears. Ristarte looks for everywhere but to find no one. It's a big deal to have the hero disappear, so Ristarte returns to the Divine Realm, intending to ask the Great Goddess for help, and happening to see Ariadoa as well. With a sad expression, Ariadoa brings Ristarte and the others to the Temple of Time. The Great Goddess reveals that Seiya has gone to Demon Lord's kingdom alone, because he worries the Demon Lord will exterminate the goddess Ristarte with the magic chain, which will cause the same effect on the heroes, If Seiya gets defeated, he will die in the world and is unable to go back to his world. Ristarte doesn't understand why Seiya, such a cautious man, will choose to face the Demon Lord alone, but not train himself to be strong enough to defeat the Demon Lord. The Great Goddess tells Ristarte that there's a limit for humans, and all of Seiya's skills and levels have all reached the limit. What's more, he gave up the divine sword for a Lulu and didn't get the defensive armor. That's why he wanted to acquire the strongest sealing magic from the Goddess of Destruction, though he knows it will burn his life. But why does Seiya try so hard to protect his companions? Ristarte asks again. Seeing this, the Great Goddess returns Ristarte's memory of her past life. It turns out that it's their fate for Ristarte and Seiya to meet each other. Over 100 years ago, Ariadne was responsible for saving a world, and the hero she summoned was Seiya, while Ristarte was also a member of the team. At that time, Seiya was very ebullient and reckless. He had no idea about making strategy, but rushed into battles. But with his superior talents, he could always cope with different situations. Therefore, his companions totally trusted him. However, after they defeated the final Demon Lord, Seiya didn't make an extra attack, which allowed the Demon Lord who played dead to attack a member of their team and recover his strength. As the whole team had their guards down, they soon got defeated by the Demon Lord. When he was about to eat Ristarte, he found her pregnant, and the baby's father turned out to be Seiya. Seiya fell to desperate crying and kneeling to beg the Demon Lord to let Ristarte go. But how would such a cruel Demon Lord satisfy Seiya's hope? The tragedy was set because of the kindness Ristarte showed when she was alive. She became the goddess of the divine realm. Seiya, on the other hand, was reborn in his world, and he took this remorse deeply in his soul. He carved a phrase on his interface: "Be cautious, even if it may be hated by others." That's why when Seiya was summoned as a hero again, he was incredibly cautious of all battles, even when facing the weakest slimes. Ristarte cannot hold back any longer when she sees this, and she is determined to go to the kingdom of the Demon Lord's city to save her lover despite the orders of the Great Goddess. But when Ristarte arrives, a fierce battle has broken out between Seiya and the Demon Lord. Seiya can only cast the sealing magic acquired from Ariadne, but as a human, his level of the skill is too low to keep the Demon Lord in the seal. At this moment, Seiya takes out the doll made from Ristarte's hair, fusing it with his weapon. In the end, he casts the super sealing power that is beyond humans' limit, finally sealing the Demon Lord. However, Seiya also sacrifices his entire life force, while Ristarte, in spite of the rules of Divine Realm, releases the forbidden magic to unseal all her power and uses a superb healing skill to restore Seiya's health. But just when Ristarte is overjoyed and hugs Seiya, the Demon Lord breaks the seal. He is going to release all his power to destroy the world. Seeing this, Seiya recklessly rushes up and casts the destructive sealing magic again. The Demon Lord is finally eliminated, but Seiya also reaches his limit, and even Ristarte's healing magic doesn't work. At the last moment of Seiya's life, he entrusts the future of this world to Mash and Alulu. Meanwhile, he remembers his past life. With a smile on his face, he says, "Great, I saved you this time." His body then starts breaking and his life ends. After the crisis, Mash and Alulu join the Knights of the Kingdom in the other world, while the goddess Ristarte returns to the divine realm. Losing her lover makes Ristarte lose her vigor and live in sorrow. She is also about to receive a severe punishment for violating the laws of the divine realm. The punishment announced by the Great Goddess shocks the gods in the divine realm. Ristarte is asked to save an SS-class world where the Demon Lord has taken the control. It turns out to be the world that Ristarte and Seiya failed to save the first time. What's worse, Ristarte is not allowed to use any magic power, including the healing magic, during the adventure. Once it fails, Ristarte will lose her identity as the goddess. When Ristarte is in desperation, the Great Goddess announces that Seiya has resurrected to his world, because when he sealed the Demon King in the S-class world, he happened to seal the God Slayer sword that could kill the hero, and Seiya is the hero that the Great Goddess arranges for Ristarte. Ristarte wipes her tears, ready to save the SS-class world with the cautious hero Seiya. That brings the end of this anime. Seiya's cautiousness seemed to be funny at first, but when the truth is revealed, the more ridiculous his behavior was before, the more touching it is now. How will you rate this anime on a scale of 1 to 10? Please leave your answers below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.